In today's lesson, we're going to multiply with fractions. When we multiply a fraction, in this case, fraction times a whole number, we need to put that whole number into fraction form. But a way to change a whole number into a fraction is to simply put the whole number over 1. We will see if we can cancel anything. Canceling is like reducing before you multiply. Remember, when we reduce a fraction, we divide the numerator and denominator by the same number. But not only can we check this fraction's numerator and denominator to see if it can be reduced, or this fraction's numerator with denominator to see if we could reduce, but we could check this fraction's numerator and this fraction's denominator to see if there's anything that can go into them evenly. Well, they're both 1s, so nothing will cancel. We come here, we look at the 7 and the 5. There's nothing that could go into both 7 and 5 evenly, so we simply multiply. 1 times 7 is 7, 5 times 1 is 5. Then when we ask, is it improper? It is, so we divide 5 into 7. 5 goes into 7 one time with a remainder of 2/5. 1 and 2/5 cannot be reduced, so that would be our answer. In the second example, 2/3 times 18. We need to put the 18 over 1. Make it into a fraction so we can multiply. There's nothing that can go into 2 and 3 evenly, nothing that can go into 2 and 1 evenly. There's nothing that can go into 18 and 1 evenly, but when we look at 3 and 18, 3 can go into both of them evenly. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 18 6 times, so we can multiply now. 2 times 6 is 12, 1 times 1 is 1. 12 over 1 is improper, and that would equal 12. Now, when we look in the concept of a word problem, Zach has 30 stamps. 4/5 of his stamps have pictures of animals. How many stamps with pictures of animals does Zach have? So our question is asking for the number of stamps with pictures of animals. Our information tells us that of Zach's 30 stamps, 4/5 of them have pictures of animals on them. 4/5 of means multiply. His stamps have pictures of animals. We know 4/5 of his total number of stamps have animals on them. So we'll multiply 4/5 times 30 over 1. We can't cancel anything or reduce anything with the 4 and the 5. And we know nothing will reduce with a 1. But when we cross this way, 5 can go into both 5 and 30. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 30 6 times. So we multiply across. 4 times 6 is 24. 1 times 1 is 1. 24 is improper. So it would equal 24 stamps have pictures of animals. Now, when we multiply a fraction times a fraction, since the fractions are already in fraction form, it's not like the last problems where we had a whole number. These are all ready to multiply. Let's see if we can cancel anything first. Nothing can go into both 3 and 5, but 3 can go into both 3 and to 3 here. Since they're both 3s, they both cancel out to 1s. Nothing will reduce with this numerator because it's a 1. So we multiply and we get 1/5, which is not improper and cannot be reduced. Down here we have 3/8 times 8/9. We can't see if we can cancel. We can't reduce anything with the 3 and the 8, but both 3 and 9 can both be divided by 3. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times. Then we try the other numerator. Nothing can go into both 8 and 3, but here we have 8 and 8. 8 can go into 8 once, 8 can go into 8 once. So now we multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 1/3 is not improper and cannot be reduced. Here we have at summer camp, 7/9 of the participants were from Louisiana. Of that group, 3/5 were 12 years old. And the question's asking us, what fraction of the group was from Louisiana and 12 years old? Well, we know from the first sentence, 7/9 of them were from Louisiana. And then we know that of that group, 3/5 were 12 years old. So 3/5 of that group refers back to this group from Louisiana. 3/5 of 7/9 were 12 years old. See if we can cancel. Nothing can go into both 3 and 5, but when we look at 3 and 9, 3 can go into 3 once, 3 can go into 9 3 times. When we go to the 7 and try to reduce, nothing can go into both 7 and 3, nothing can go into both 7 and 5. So we multiply, 1 times 7 is 7, 5 times 3 is 15, 7/15 is not improper, and it cannot be reduced, so we would say 7/15 of the group would be our answer. On this one, on Wednesday, Danielle skated 2/3 of the way around the track in 2 minutes. Her younger brother skated 3/4 of Danielle's distance in 2 minutes. The question's asking, what fraction of the track did Danielle's brother finish in 2 minutes? So we want to know about Danielle's brother. So when we go back to look at her brother, we know that he skated 3/4 of her distance. 3/4 of Danielle's distance. Well, let's see how far Danielle went. Danielle went 2/3 of the way around the track. So her brother went 3/4 of her distance, which was 2/3 of the way around the track. So he went 3/4 of 2/3. If we see if we can cancel, we notice we have 2 3s here. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 3 once. Those cancel quickly. Now when we look at the 2, we know nothing's going to cancel with this 1 down here, but 2 and 4 can both be canceled because 2 can go into 2 once, 2 can go into 4 twice. And we multiply, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 1 is 2. 1/2 is not improper and it cannot be reduced. So her brother went 1/2 of the way around the track.